Alright, pound still broken here. I'm going to show you how to get Linux on Windows 10. Basically start to finish. So we're going to write in disk into your Cortana bar. And then create and format disk partition control. We're going to go ahead and pull up the full screen here. You're going to pick the hard drive that you want to put it on. So we're going to go ahead and do this one. It's got 488 gigs available. So we're going to go ahead and click on it in this disk form. So this is a disk management system. We're going to go ahead and click on it, and we're going to do shrink drive. This is going to allow you to give yourself some space off of this hard drive to put it on. So it's really easy. So now we're just going to tell it, oh well, we just want to shrink it by, I don't know, 20 gig. So 4 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 2 makes 20 gig. Okay? Because it asks you in megabytes. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and press shrink. And then it makes the new hard drive. And basically an unformatted one. You want to click it and click New Simple Volume. And then click Next. You want to make sure that it's got your 20 gigs or the megabytes there. So it's 20 gigs. You want to assign it a letter. I'm going to go ahead and assign it Z. I'm going to name the volume so that in Windows I know what it is. Well, we're going to be putting in elementary. So I'm just going to call it elementary and then Linux. And then you don't really need to change anything in here. You can do enable file and folder compression if you want. I think I'll do it this time, but you don't have to. You push next, you press finished, you come back over, it'll tell you, oh, I'm formatting, and guess what? There's your new drive. It was that simple. Don't let this area scare you. You can't do much unless you format something in here. Now we're going to go ahead, I'm going to pause the video, and I'm going to shut down, well, actually, let me show you another step too, another few things. So let's go ahead and close this out, and let's go to the internet, and I'm doing elementary, so if you were picking a different one, you could. So, https elementary.io. Come in here, you scroll down, it says 5, 10, 25, whatever price you wanted to donate. I'm going to put 0.00 for the education of this video. Then I'm going to click download elementary OS. And if you're in Google Chrome, it'll just pop down here, and it'll take a couple of minutes. So since I've already downloaded it, I'm going to pass this and cancel the download. And we already have it installed, right? So let's go ahead and pull up Rufus. And actually, it might be a good idea to show you how to get Rufus. So let's pull back up Internet or Google Chrome and just put in Rufus into the search bar here. And I prefer Rufus, but you can use whatever you want. You just go to the Rufus website, which is https rufus.akeo.ie. And on this page, it might look like, oh no, I'm going to get scammed. I'm going to get a bunch of junk. Don't worry about that. Just click on Rufus 2.11 and download it. After you download it, you'll just extract it and install it. And it comes to this. It's pretty easy. Just window install. Alright, so let me pause the video for a second. I'm going to go ahead and get a drive that I'm going to put it on so that I can show you how to do that. Alright, so just get something to install it on. Just, here is a SD card. Plug it in. Kind of hard to do when you're recording it yourself. There you go. Now you're going to see that it's going to come up with a no label. See that? So you just want to make sure you have that selected. The great thing about this one is you can't accidentally install it to a hard drive. So you're just going to leave all these as they are. And then you're going to click this. And you're going to go find your elementary download. It will scan it. It'll tell you it's ready. And you press start. Now there's an option on there that asks you if you want to install it install it via I/O or DD. I do it DD on Windows because it seems to work a little bit better. So after you're done with that, it'll say it's ready again. It'll come back to the same page, ready. You just click close. Now you're going to shut down your computer, restart it, and it kind of depends on what your operating system is, what you're going to click when we go back. I think mine's F10, so we'll just see if I get it right. I think it's F10. Oh, no, F12. Down here it'll tell you to get into your boot, you go to F12. Now, so you have to select which boot device you want to use. And depending on which one you used, will depend on how you load it. If you chose HDD, then you'll want to use that. Now, my options were a little bit more than what a normal computer is. Normally, it'll just tell you USB, CD-ROM. But you'll know you got it right when you see that little icon, little keyboard there. The little man. You'll know you have the right one if you do that, if you've got that image. That means it's actually loading. Okay, so I know this bugs people, but I'm going to turn the camera here in a second. There we go, so that it's easier to see what we're doing here. Alright, so this screen shows you it's loading. This screen, depending on the speed of your computer, may take a couple minutes to load. So just be patient. Just be patient. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video while I wait for it to load. Oh, never mind. It's already up. Alright, so here we go. It's loading, loading, loading. Alright, pound still broken. We got this page up. Now, if you just wanted to try it out, you can, but that's not what I'm showing you to do here. So we're going to make sure we have English, and we're going to do a full install. Alright, so this says, do you want to download your updates? I recommend doing this. Unless you know how to do your own drivers and stuff, then you're probably going to want to click on all this stuff. And I'm not sure why it's not letting me click it. But if it won't let you do it, then you can do it when you've got the computer in. But it's this one that's important. The third-party software, graphics, Wi-Fi. That'll make sure everything works. Alright, so we'll go ahead and press continue. And this part may take a minute, so we'll go ahead and pause it for the next screen. This screen is usually the part everyone gets scared about. So you already have Windows on there, and you know you don't want to put it on that hard drive. That's why we formatted a new drive. So you definitely don't want to do install elementary alongside the other hard drive or the other operating systems that you have. If you only have Windows 10, it'll just tell you in this one here, just Windows 10. Well, that's not what we're wanting to do. We went ahead and formatted our own drive, so we need to do something else. Do not be afraid to click something else. Now go ahead and press continue. Now in here, this is where people get really scared because most of the hard drives will tell you what their names are, right? But it doesn't tell you names. It tells you some weird thing called DevSBD. Or SDB. What in the world is this? Well, don't be so afraid of this, especially if you're a new Linux person. Don't expect that you know everything, okay? What we're looking for in here as we scroll down is something that's 2,000 megabytes. That's how we'll know that we have the right one. So, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and scroll through it. Now, it's hard for me to see it from the screen, so I'm just going to tilt it up a little bit here. while I pick the one that we wanted to use. Hold on just a second here. I can't see it. So I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to pick the one and then I'll show you what we do from here. Okay, so you know that we made a 20 gig hard drive in here. So which one do you think we should be picking? Well, it looks like SDB6 because it's 21 gigs. So now you just scroll down in this list until you find 6. It's right there. And you pick it. Now we go down. And we're going to use our regular hard drive for the bootloader. And we're going to need to format the drive. Now don't be afraid. You just double click on it. And it brings up this box. And then we need to install an ext4 journaling file system. Because Windows doesn't use the same stuff. So in this second box here, you're going to choose ext4. And then your mount point is /. And then just go ahead and click Format. So, right drive, ext4 journaling, format the partition, / under mount point. Press OK. This will mount it, format it. And it's going to format it almost instantly. Where in Windows it took a little bit of time to actually do it, this doesn't take that much time. So now we're just going to wait for it to load back up. See how there's only 2 drives right now? That's what I was talking about earlier, where it's like, but we already know which one we were on because it's got a checkbox in it, right? So let's go ahead and just click that. And you'll notice it's all loaded up now. And just go ahead and click Install Now. This says you've not selected any partitions for use as a swap space. Enabling swap space is recommended so that the system can better use the available physical memory, and so it behaves better when physical memory is so scarce. If you do not go back to the partition menu and assign a swap partition installation, we'll continue without swap. Just go continue. And then continue again. That's the page that says you're going to destroy this hard drive if you do this. Well, that's fine. So now we're going to go ahead and pick wherever we are. We'll just do Denver. As long as you're in the right time zone. Press continue. Now we're going to pick our type of language. If you want to test to make sure your keyboard's working, you can just type hello. And press continue. Now it wants you to put in your name, computer name. We're just going to put in, I'm just going to call this Element. You can call it whatever you want. And then we need to put in a password. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so after you press continue, it's just going to go ahead and copy over your files. Alright, let me just stand up and see if this will help it better. So I'm not a professional video person here, obviously. I'm just Pound Still Broken. We're actually recording this on a Samsung phone. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it while it does this because it may take a minute. Okay, so after the installation, it's going to say installation is complete. You need to restart the computer in order to use the new installation. So simply click Restart Now. Please remove the medium. So you want to unplug your USB. And then press Enter. Now it's rebooting. We'll go ahead and just let it load up. It should give us the options. There should be a screen that comes up that gives us the options. Sometimes Windows 10 won't. Okay, but it did. So now you're just going to pick elementary instead of Windows 10 or 8 by just pressing enter. There it comes. And I set it up to auto log in. The reason I did that is when we pull it up this time, I don't have to type in a password and you don't have to wait for that. So here it comes. Alright, we got a cursor. The first time you load it, it's going to take a little bit of time because it's figuring out all the settings. And there you go. You've got Linux. Post to the thread if you have any questions on how I did any of it or if you missed anything. And there you go. Linux, put on a different partition drive to match with Windows 10 or any other operating system that you might have.